ni aje machamp, niko hapa. Ya leo nimetembelea Mwasi tena na niko na kuzo yangu hapa. Kuzo yangu anaitwa Dan. Nataka leo tufanye body assessment. Venye mmekuwa nikisikia nikisema ni poa sana. Watu wengi wananiulizia nitatumia SAP gani. So before tumia SAP, at least ukama ufanywe body assessment. Na hata kama wewe hutaki kununua SAP kwanza, at least understand mwili yako, ujue body type yako, ujue fat percentage yako, na hizo ndio shughuli zenye Mwasa anafanya hapa leo.
Aya, welcome Dan.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
So hii kitu tutaifanya in two segments. So there's one segment, your body assessment, where we'll be taking measurements of your body, and then there's the fitness consultation.
Sure.
So fitness consultation is to make sure we're able to gather as much data about you, your goals, how you usually eat, the way you spend the day, or rather your daily routine and your lifestyle. And then now from there able to do the body assessment, then we're able to relate now the report and your lifestyle, or rather how you usually eat, and then we're able to now make the comparison and see whether your eating complements your daily routine and also complements your your body type. So that's the essence.
Okay.
So wacha tuanze na kuchukua some information about you. What's your goal?
My goal is to rape. To rape and have less body fat in the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your body fat. Okay. Other than that, any concerns like strength,
in general,
recovery, injuries?
Just to be fit. In general, just to be fit.
Okay, just one.
Because the rest will come along the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as far as your meals are concerned, how many meals do you do in a day?
2 meals in a day.
2.
Yeah.
Okay. No snacks, eh?
No snacks.
Okay. So the first meal is what time?
Around 7:30 to 8.
7:30, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
What do you usually eat?
Fried ndoma with fish balls.
You can see there is some swag there. It has to be fish balls, not just fish.
Proteins.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then until lunchtime.
So it's usually fried doma and fish balls.
Yeah.
There's no variations.
Or maybe sometimes fried doma and eggs, fried eggs, omelette.
So eggs not every day, just sometimes. Eh?
Maybe twice in a week. Yeah.
Okay. Fried eggs. How many eggs?
3 or 4 eggs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fried, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. And then from there, what's the next meal?
My second meal will be at lunchtime between 12:45 and 1:45.
5 to 1:45.
Yeah.
So what do you usually eat?
This is a specific diet for lunch.
Just variations too.
But maybe mostly rice and cereals, maybe rice and beans, rice and beef. Mostly those was raw.
Our fish is just for the breakfast.
Yeah.
Ugali, chapati.
Ugali, maybe once in 2 weeks.
Okay. So
Yeah.
not right. So rice, beans, beef, dengu.
Dengu no. Let's say I do chapati and dengu. Maybe once in a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Vegetables? You don't do vegetables? You're not a fan?
Not really. I'm not a fan. I'm not really.
Okay. Fruits? No fruits.
Fruits, I'll say currently no. I'm not doing any fruits now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is your daily routine, let's say Monday to Friday. So an event, maybe it's a weekend, if you're a family man, you stepped out, what would you find yourself eating that's not in your routine? Do you do fries, pizzas, cakes?
Okay, the good thing about me, I'm an introvert. So most of the time I'm indoors. The only thing I'll change maybe is the breakfast. I might have maybe bread and tea.
Tea with sugar?
Tea with sugar. And then bread with Blue Band. Lunch the same. Lunch the same. Maybe I can snack in between with juice. Maybe a mix of juice and njugu.
Smoothie.
The smoothies, yes. Yeah.
Fruit juices you don't do?
Fruit juices maybe Once in a while. Yeah,
Okay.
stay consistent because they drop your tonsils.
Okay.
Yeah.
So smoothies that have peanut,
Just peanut, sorghum, avocado.
sorghum.
And
Okay. It must be very thick.
yeah,
Peanut, sorghum, banana.
avocado. Okay, it's a place you usually buy. So tunanunua and then just have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
No, I don't take alcohol at all.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. You're not a coffee person.
Coffee, I do take coffee maybe before the gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time do you work out?
Mostly, let's say from Monday to Friday, around from 6:30
AM or PM?
p.m. And then weekends, it depends with the day.
So before workout, you take caffeine, eh?
Yeah.
Coffee now. After?
After, no, I don't take
nothing.
anything. I don't take supper.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, how active is done? Starting with your nature of work. Are you an office person? You're seated for the better part of the day, or are you walking around a lot? Or are you doing manual jobs?
I'll say I'm an office person. Most of the time I'm seated.
So it's sedentary.
Yeah.
And then the gym, you said 5 days a week.
No, maybe I'll do six times a week.
No, 6.
Yeah.
So Monday, Tuesday, up to Saturday.
Let's say Monday to Sunday, and then one day interfilm. The body's fatigue. Maybe on Thursday, and I want to go,
Okay.
or on Sunday. But I try at least 6 times a week. I go,
Okay.
or whenever I have the time.
Mostly weights or cardio?
Weights.
Weights, eh?
Yeah.
That information, at least it's good enough. Now we can now do the assessment.
Okay.
And then now from there we'll be able now to come and revisit. You're taking the body measurements. When you're taking the chest and back circumference, we need to take it from slightly above the nipples, going all the way to the back, making sure you want to capture this part of the back, so that on event somebody has big lats, or let's say accumulated a lot of excessive fat, you're also able to account for that, for those those inches in that measurement. And then when it comes to the arms, we usually do both sides, because we usually say we have a dominant side, and if you have a dominant side, it means you're using that side more, so it's bound to have more muscle or stronger muscles. So most of the time the body is usually leaner on the side that you're dominant. So if you're right-handed, the right side is stronger and is more lean as compared to the left side. So for some people, if their arms have a lot of fat, chances are the left side could be a bit bigger, because when the right side is being utilized more, then it means there's less storage of fat. And on the left side, now it means it will end up storing more fat. So that's why you'll see the variation of the inches. And then when we ask people to flex, we want to see the muscle tone if it's balanced. And definitely, if let's say the right side is dominant, when you flex, we'll see a bigger difference as compared to the left side, which will dictate that there is more muscle. Now, when we come down to the waist we usually measure from the belly button. We don't go towards, we don't take the measurements of the tailor and measure from the hip bone. We measure from the belly button. So here we are trying to account for accumulation of visceral fat. So visceral fat is the fat that is surrounding your organs. So we call it the dangerous fat. So because we have the rib cage here, so we don't expect to see anything from here. So because the fat cannot bulge from here we don't have the ribs, so we expect when you've got excessive visceral fat, this is where you start, it will push your tummy outwards. And because the belly button is towards the lower side, and because of gravity, this is where we expect the wider circumference. So that's why we measure from the belly button. And then now we are going to compare that ratio of the waist with the hips. So we say the hips is usually, there's a concept that says the hips is the frame. So for us men, because during our teenage you're told the shoulders broaden, so it means the hips will just maintain that original frame. So it means on event you've got a lot of excessive visceral fat, it is acceptable if the waist bulges out but maintains the same circumference with the hips, meaning the ratio is 1, meaning here and here is the same circumference, meaning unakaa 1. But on event, now this is bigger than the hips, meaning now you have a protruding belly, then that shows that you are high risk. You've got excessive visceral fat. Now for the ladies, because now as far as men you're told shoulders broaden, for the ladies it's the hips that widen. So for them it's not acceptable for their ratio to be 1. It's usually 0.8 because the hips at all times are supposed to be wider. So this is not supposed to catch up with the waist is not supposed to catch up with the hips. So the machine will do the ratio once we're done taking the measurements and then rate them. If they are high risk, meaning they've accumulated excessive visceral fat, or if they are low risk. So that's the essence of taking the measurements. And then when you go down to the thigh, we want to make sure we take the measurement from the peak where we are seeing the largest circumference of the thigh, so that on event there is some change, that is where we're able to depict that change. And the same for the knee. So that's why we measure the distance from the knee first to identify that landmark, so that we're able to have that specific point for measuring, and the same for the calves. So that's basically what we do when you're doing the body assessment. And then other than that, we'll check his height, check his weight, and then now let him lie down here, and then we'll key those measurements in the machine, and then the machine will scan him. Essence of him lying down first is to make sure his blood flow, or rather his body fluids, are able to settle. So when the body fluids settle, it means now when the machine is going now to send current through him, there is less interruption. So now when the current is going to is going to be passed through him, his organ tissues from bones, water, muscle, fat, they will offer different resistance. Just like the way you hear water will conduct current easily. So all these other matters, they will not conduct current at the same rate. So that resistance of the flow, now the machine will be able to calculate against the weight and be able to attribute this much is muscle, this much is fat, this much is body water, based on how the current is going to flow through him. So just like I said, the essence of lying down, you give him a period of like around 2, 3 or 5 minutes for a client to lie down so that the body fluids settle. So the other thing is that we have a protocol. We tell clients to come when they've not exercised, to come when at least the last meal they've eaten has passed by at least 3 hours, and also not to take things like alcohol or caffeine before the assessment. So the essence of this is just to make sure we're able to get results of a client at the original state. For instance, if somebody works out, the muscles will pump, they'll be drinking water, so there's more fluids of, their body fluid, most of it is in the muscle. So once we do the assessment, we will get results based on a temporary state, because the pump will not be there for the whole day. So that we'll get a report which will not be able to advise the client accordingly, because the report will be based on a temporary state. The same with eating. When you're eating, presence of food in your digestive system will attract more fluids. So it will also trick us to see that you've got more lean, because you're attracting more fluids to your digestive system. And then with alcohol, we usually say alcohol breaks down muscle, it dehydrates muscle. Caffeine also has a diuretic effect of reducing extracellular water. So all these things will alter the composition, and then when you sit a client down to advise them, you'll be advising them not based on their body the way it is, but based on a temporary state which will not be okay because it's not an accurate way of handling clients. So that's why you have to give people that protocols, lay down protocols so that we're able to make sure by the time you get the results, they are reliable results. So done.
Yes.
This is the report. So these are the inputs, some of the measurements we took. Now these are the numbers we usually break down. So I usually say it's important to get interpretation of that data. Getting an assessment and going out with a report is not the solution. You'll just get triggers that you need to lower fat, but you don't know where to start from.
Yeah.
You'll get triggers that you've got low body water, but you don't know how to improve it. And things like drinking excess water can also be harmful. It can get you dehydrated.
Yeah.
So you need to know how to fix these things holistically. So we'll start with this now table showing that this is the body weight, you can see,
Yeah.
and there's the normal range. So
Yeah.
this normal range is not based on BMI, but it's based on your composition.
Yeah.
Because BMI is calculated according to your height.
Yes.
And it's just like, your height is constant, so BMI is not practical because it dictates you to maintain the same weight throughout your life.
Yeah.
And then not factoring in your age, your gender, in most cases. So when we are targeting people who are athletic, people who are active, or weightlifters or bodybuilders, people can be short, they weigh 100 kilos. BMI will say that they are obese, but now you see in real sense, the nature of their composition is mostly muscle.
Yeah.
So they're actually fit, but the BMI will say they are obese. So what this machine does, it looks at the amount of fat that you have and then base it on the normal range, which is based on your age and gender, and then now calculate the amount of fat that you have in excess and deduct it from your current weight. And then use the muscle as your base now to dictate what's the range you need to have for your weight. So the thing is, if you train or lift weights and increase muscle mass, then the normal range for your weight goes up. If you take a break, you stop working out and you lose muscle mass, the normal range of your weight goes down. So the normal range is not fixed, it's a moving target. So that's why I tell people not to focus on their weight, but to focus on their composition. That's the best way to do it. So you can see here your fat is this much in weight, and then you can see your normal range based on your age and gender. And then as a percentage of your weight, this is where you need to be. So just like I say, men have testosterone as a dominant hormone, which makes us yield muscle. For women, estrogen makes them yield fat, which is their dominant hormone. And during pregnancy, estrogen spikes, making them store more fat. So the ranges here will differ. If it was a lady the same age, it would range to around 27%. And as you age, for you 20 is okay, and for women as they age, they can even go up to 30 or 35 based on their age. And then the next thing is lean. So the lean, you get it by deducting your fat from your weight. So when you remove all the fat from the weight, you get your lean. Your lean is the active part of your body, which is your muscles and organs. So you can see you've got a lot of lean, which is 79 kilos, and you can see for your normal range you are okay. And the normal range divided by your, as a percentage of your weight, it is 74%, which is low. As you can see here, your fat was about out of the normal range at 26. So fixing this does not mean that you add muscle, but it just means you lower fat, because this plus this is 100%.
Yeah, true.
So what is making your lean lower for your weight? It is the fat, because it has taken up space that should have been taken up by your lean. So it's not ideally focusing on adding muscle, but lowering the fat.
Okay.
Then the next item here is body water. So as you can see, your body water, which is mainly your body fluids, it's at 56 liters, which is a lot. But you see, it's because you're a big guy, my friend. So this is a lot, but when you look at your normal range, it should be 59 to 69, which shows that you are less, with 3 liters.
Actually, I don't drink water that often. That I'll admit, yeah.
So it's a good confession, but for some people, they drink even 5 liters of water, but when you measure them, their water is still low.
Yes.
So what we usually tell people, it's not because they are not drinking water, but it's because of their composition. Because these fluids are in the lean. Your blood is mostly in your muscles and organs. So you can see your muscles and organs is 74% of your weight, and it needs to be between 81 to 87. And what is making it low, it's the fat. So it means the fat has taken up space that should have been taken up by your muscle. So it means for your weight, because fluids are calculated according to your weights, it means the fat is what is compromising your storage space for fluids. So if you want to improve this, you just lower the fat. So you can see the fat has messed up here, it has messed up here, and it's going definitely to mess up here because you've got less room to accommodate the fluids. All right. Then the next thing is the dry lean. Dry lean is when you strip off all the fat and water, you're left with the shell of the muscle and bones. This one doesn't have a normal range. If you're a tall guy, your bones you'll weigh more. If you're a shorter guy, it will weigh less because you've got a smaller structure. And then now the metabolism. You've heard about metabolism?
Yeah.
How would you define it in your own words?
The ability to break down food.
Perfect. So here it's split into two. There is the basal and there is the active. Basal here they say is an estimate of your body's resting energy requirements. So if you're relaxed, sitting, do you think you're using any energy?
No, you're not using.
My friend, you're using a lot of energy.
By sitting?
Yes. Your brain is active.
Yeah.
Your heart is beating. Your lungs are functioning. If you ate, there's digestion. And then you see when you're sitting, the posture that you're sitting, your muscles are the ones that are supporting your frame to sit in that posture. That is based on this, the lean. That's where the muscles and organs are. And that's why even if you stay in bed the whole day, you still feel hungry because that's the energy that you're spending with this lean. So this lean is making you burn this much per day. So the more the lean, the more you burn. And that's why we tell people that weightlifting is good because when you add muscle mass, you're able to burn more at rest. If you don't build on muscle mass, you burn less. You rely more on activity to burn calories. All right?
Yeah.
So the next item here is active metabolism. So to this, you add the extra calories when you're active, when you're going to the gym and when you're going to work. So these are the estimate. And you can see these numbers are big because you're a big guy. If you are smaller, these numbers would have been less. All right?
Yeah.
So these are estimates because not all days are the same. There are days you're going to the gym and you're going to work. And chances are there's a day you'll go to the gym. There's a day you'll go to work and you'll not go to the gym. So it means this number will go down. And then there's that rest day when there's no gym, there's no work. So it means that number will come close to this number. So for you to eat twice, you need to ask yourself, do you think you're able to meet these targets? All right?
Yeah.
Because you need to eat according to your body size, and also according to your lean, and also according to your lifestyle. Are you an active person? So that's why you're fueling more. Now this is the most important figure, even more than this. Your metabolic rate. You've heard of people saying my metabolism is fast, it's slow.
Yeah.
It is because of this number. And yours, my friend, is on the lower side. Being on the lower side, it means your body can easily store fat.
Yeah.
All right? So now I want you to grab a calculator. You have a calculator?
Sure.
So now, because of this lean, you're going to burn this. So write 2378 divide by your weight, 106.8.
22.26.
So if you round it off, it's this much.
Yeah.
So you're burning this much calories per kilo of your body weight. So now I want to give you a scenario. Let's say we maintain this lean to maintain this number, but your weight goes up to 115. So remember, the weight minus the fat, it's your lean. So if the lean is constant but the weight is going up, it means it's the fat that is increasing to push the weight up. So let's calculate your new metabolic rate at 115. So it's 2378.
Divided by 115.
Yes.
20.7.
What has happened to this number?
It has gone down.
So that shows you one thing, that the moment you increase body fat, you keep slowing down your metabolic rate. So fat is what slows down metabolism. If your body has very little fat, your metabolic rate is very high, meaning it becomes hard for you to store fat. But if your body has stored a lot of fat, it becomes easy for you to attract more fat. And that's why when you look at people who are small, let's take for instance marathoners and powerlifters. Powerlifters have a similar weight. Like you can take for instance a powerlifter weighing 130 kilos, 90 kilos lean. If 90 kilos is lean, it means here they'll be burning at rest almost 2,500. When they're active, they'll burn around 4,500 or 5,000. But now when they eat junk, they store fat. But when you take a marathoner like Kipchoge, around 48 kilos, 45 kilos lean probably, they'll be burning less, 1,200 kilos at calories at rest, and maybe around 3K when they're active because it's cardio. But when you look at both of them when they eat junk, marathoners will not put on weight easily because of one thing. You'll find the powerlifter having around 40 kilos of fat, while the marathoner has around 3 or 4 kilos. 3 or even less kilos. So when you look at this percentage, when one has 30% of fat, and while the other one has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% of fat, the person who's got less fat percentage, they become hard gainers. They can't put on any weight. But for the person who has a lot of fat stored, they easily put on fat. So my slogan here is, fat attracts more fat. That's why when you examine your body, you'll find at some point, for some individuals, they have a trimmed waistline, but one part will start bulging. Before you know it, fat will keep accumulating on that area until it starts overlapping, and then they call it love handles. Where the fat sits is where fat will keep piling up. As I was telling you, fat attracts more fat. So to undo that, you just need to make sure you activate the muscles that's around that area to make sure that area there's a lot of activity to reduce fat storage. Make sense?
Yeah.
So I think the rest, you will go through it at home. These are graphic expressions of your body composition, and then you'll get some notes showing you your fat weight, saying it's high, this is where you are, and this is where you are, this is where you need to be, and some literature to describe it. You're lean, it's low, and some literature, this is where you need to be, and this is where you are. And then your weight range, it says it's above normal limits, and it gives you caution. This is generic, but it's because all the values in the table are off, telling you that you need to check your blood pressure and cholesterol levels, all right? And you need to reduce your body weight slowly. I'll expound on this later. And then the conclusion is that your body composition is not within normal limits, and you need to discuss your diet and exercise. We'll do that towards the end. I'm hoping that table is well understood.
Yeah, it is.
We go to hydration. So hydration, like I told you, it's not just about drinking water to influence your body fluids, but it's holistic. So the first thing that happened to you is that the fat took too much of the space. So it means it compromised your storage space for fluids. So once you lower fat, you are a step closer to improving your body fluids to your weight ratio. Do you pant when you're going up the stairs?
Sometimes I do, yeah.
Sometimes you do. It's because of having less fluids. Because your blood is what captures oxygen from your lungs and takes to your organs and muscles to support energy, output, or performance. So if you've got less fluids for your weight, then it means you'll be able to capture less oxygen, meaning you will need the blood to do more revolutions to support energy expenditure. So that means the moment you go up the staircase, once the brain figures that you've got less oxygen in your system, it triggers the heart rate to beat faster. It's not because of fitness, but it's because of your body composition. Because fat has taken up a bigger portion, so you have less fluids for your weight. And that's why you'll find somebody else who is skinny, probably don't go to the gym, but they'll go up the staircase without panting. It's not about strength, it's not about fitness. Fitness just gives you an edge. Alright?
Yeah.
So the other thing we look at is things like electrolytes. Electrolytes are minerals and salts. We get these from vegetables and fruits. And just like you can see, you abstain from fruits because of whatever you told me, the tonsils, and you're trying to keep away sugars, which is okay. And that's why I want to focus more on the vegetables, but again, you said you're not a fan.
No, okay, not really. Maybe let's say mixing the fruits and veggies into my diet is the tricky part, because I found maybe taking fruits during after gym, after workout.
Fruits, I'm with you. It's okay to put them aside, but now the vegetables, that's where
No, the veggies.
the greens especially.
I found it a bit tricky to fix into my diet. But maybe now with the proper diet, maybe in the morning take 1, 2, 3, and then
Do you sweat a lot when you work out?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends pia with the gym environment. Are you alone? Mko watu wengi?
Because naturally, when you're working out and you sweat, your body is losing salts. Those are now the minerals and salts I'm referring to. Those are electrolytes. Your sweat is salty. So on event, you're working out, it means your body needs to replenish. Because if you have less electrolytes, the moment you drink water, you're not able to hold on to that water. So you'll easily go to the washroom and pee. So it's important to make sure when you're hydrating, your body's got enough electrolytes so that your body can hold on to that water. If you pour water here and put salt on one corner, the salt will pull the water into it. Isn't it? So it means when you've got a good balance of minerals and salts, the water you drink, your body will be able to hold on to it. So that now the moment you're active, when your muscles are opening up, the fluids are able to flow into the muscles now to support better nutrient delivery, better oxygen delivery, and you're able to get your performance.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So vegetables need to be increased, and it's unfortunate when you're doing just 2 meals and 1 meal is your opportunity to get the vegetables, then it means you're not getting enough. All right?
Yeah.
The other one is lifestyle, which has not affected you because these are people who do alcohol. Just like I said, alcohol breaks down muscle, it dehydrates the body. And basically, I think those ones are the ones that would matter for you as of now. We also look at timing. If it's women, if they're going through their periods, then we now connect. If they are losing the fluids, then it means it's bound to affect that balance. So on our table, we'll just go through it very fast. When you drink water, you can see there's extracellular water where the fluids are captured. Then once it's captured there, it moves inside the cells, which will relate to muscle mass, which is intracellular water, and this is in liters. The total is that much. Verdict, it's lower than the normal range. And then when you look at it as a percentage, you can see 21.3, it's low, and even on the muscle level, it's low. So one of the things is that we will discuss hydration. When you're drinking water, when you're training, how you can maximize. When you're doing the big muscles like legs, that's when you need to push yourself to drink the most water. Small muscles, there's the amount of capacity because you've got big muscles. So you need to focus more on hydration.
Yes.
All right? And then during the day, how to stabilize. Not losing so much muscle through hydrating. Because when you're not hydrating, then it means you lose the pump so much and your body will burn less calories when the muscle goes down. All right?
Yeah.
But I'm happy, at least there's a big positive here. This is your cellular health. Light green is extremely healthy. Dark green is normal. Orange at the beginning is caution. Past here, it's investigate. Something is wrong. Once you hit the red, you're sick. Past this point, you're critically sick, which means you're admitted. You can see you're normal and you're gravitating towards extremely healthy. So with that, you see it's a good plus.
Yeah.
So then we will finalize with the last one, the other two reports, but this is what we look at as the last. So the professional report is just everything combined in one table. So you can see those pie charts, meters, extracellular water, dry lean, some additional graphs, BMI. If you're a candidate for BMI, in case you're not active, you can see body fat mass index, your fat is also high. Free fat mass, your lean is good. Waist to hip ratio, it needs to be less than 1, just like I told you, and you're on 0.87, and you can see it's on this meter. Light green means you're okay, dark green caution, 1 going up, high risk. At least you're not on the high risk, you're on the okay, but we need you to get deeper into the okay, not towards the caution. Your metabolism, cellular health, which was good. So this is the weight of your skeletal muscles. So out of the 70, now this is the weight of your skeletal muscles. So the rest is the weight of your organs. Yeah. And then this is where you'll be able to see your history. In case you do 10 assessments, this is the first, last, and the amount of change you'll be able to achieve. And this is the body composition trend, which shows you everything independently. How your weight is going, how your fat is going over time, how your muscle, your body water independently. Because you can lose weight, but you're losing more muscle than the fat. Or you can lose weight, but the fat is going the opposite direction based on your eating habits and the time. All right? Or you can be putting on weight, but you're putting on more fat than the muscle. So this is why this is critical. And then towards the base here, you'll get now a dashboard where you're able to view everything. If you do many assessments, the date and time you've tested, and you're able to see everything at a glance. how your weight is going to trend, your lean, your fat percentage, and then it gives you a goal which it will keep on recalibrating everything. BMR, dry lean together with the water.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So basically, those are the main reports we look at. These others are just suggestions by the machine. Like here you can see there's a weight loss report, which is purely mathematical, other than realistic. It's telling you to target this weight, losing these kilograms per week, the deficit per day, and you lose it if you go at this rate per day, this deficit in 15.4 weeks. So I was saying this is purely mathematical, so all other factors being constant. At times people plateau, so that's why I don't like using this as a projection, but it's just purely to give you the sense that if you're able to be consistent and you move at this speed, it's all about, these are the variables. It means your time to see the results reduce. If you reduce the deficit, then the period for you to lose the weight now extends. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping you've learned something from there.
Yeah, I have.
So back to this. Like your goal was to lower body fat or shred. So when you look at fat, you look at it with two dimensions. There's one we call fat distribution. So people store fat differently, but we say at this point, it's mostly genetics that also contribute to how you store fat. Some people tend to store fat more on the upper body, others it's lower. You'll hear some people are bottom heavy, others it's top, others it's just general. So depending on how you store the fat, this is what should dictate the nature of routine you need to adopt, so that you invest more of your effort combating how you stored that fat. All right.
Yeah.
Then the other aspect, the other angle of looking at fat, we call it fat placement. Fat can either be under your skin or around your abdominal cavity. Under your skin, we call it subcutaneous fat, in case your biology is intact. So subcutaneous fat, it's the fat that is under the skin. It's what is making your muscles not to be more visible, even your vascularity, your veins. It's the subcutaneous fat. So I believe fat is stored energy. So to get it out of your body, you need to use it as energy. And that's why there's that essence of being active. So the active part of your body is the muscles and organs. So for you to get rid of that fat that is under your skin, it is close to your skeletal muscles. So it means for you, the easiest way for you to get rid of that is by targeting the skeletal muscle. You target the skeletal muscles through weight lifting. Up to there we are together?
Yeah.
But you need to be cognizant of the fact that weightlifting has two parts, or rather will lead to two outcomes. You can lift weights with the aim of building muscle mass. And for you to build muscle mass, it's more about lifting heavy to stimulate the muscles to open up to accommodate the pressure of that heavy lifting. All right? And the other avenue is toning and conditioning, which is now the reaping. So muscle mass, heavy weights, low rep range. Toning and conditioning, it's about high rep range, weight being constant. But of course, if you're strong, it means for me, your light will be heavy to me.
Yeah.
But the constant factor is
The weight.
if you're targeting high rep range, you'll not be able to go so heavy. So you need to target a high rep range with a very good form to make sure that you're able to hit the primary muscle. Because if you go heavy, then other muscles will kick in to compensate, and it reduces the chance of you getting that results. Rather, you'll get, even if you'll get the results, it'll take you a bit longer. All right? So, weightlifting, toning and conditioning. And just like toning and conditioning is just trimming and firming. If you want to tone your arms, you target the skeletal muscles around your arms. If you want to tone your legs, the same. If you want to tone your arms, you do squats, will you tone your arms? And vice versa. If you want to tone your legs, you do bicep curls, will you tone your legs? So in a way, it's like you can sport train, right?
Yeah.
So the other aspect of fat, we called the one that is around the abdominal cavity, the one that surrounds your organs, the visceral fat. So this is where you have most of the fat. So somebody who targets weight loss most of the time they're targeting losing the fat that is around the abdominal cavity. So that one you target because you don't have skeletal muscles inside. You just target having more blood flowing around your organs. How do you target that? With cardio. Apparently, you said you're doing mostly weights. So the visceral fat makes the belly go outside. So for people who have a flat tummy, if they want to see their abs, they just focus on weightlifting, doing crunches, reverse crunches, leg raises. And eventually, if their diet is good and they're persistent or consistent, they'll be able to reduce the fat that is above the muscle, and the abs will get closer to the surface. But for somebody who's got a belly which is bulging outside, even if they do the floor workouts, it will be in vain because most of the fat is inside. So they need to combine the weightlifting, which is now the crunches, because you're using the weight of your upper body and your legs. You need to combine that with cardio. Otherwise, it will be in vain. It makes sense?
When you say cardio, skipping.
Yes. Walking, if it's low impact cardio.
Okay.
Burpees.
But not necessarily running.
No, there's many forms of cardio. And the intensities are different. There's Stairmaster, climbing the Stairmaster. There is air bike.
Okay.
All right? Even walking can be mild but effective, especially if you're targeting steps. So because your metabolic rate, especially, it's low, that's why we talk about targeting steps, because you're sedentary, your metabolism is low. So to maintain that, you need to make sure you're improving blood flow to your muscles throughout the day so that you burn whatever it is you're eating. I believe it's always good to make sure you target weight loss, not through minimizing what you're eating, but eating healthy and improving activity. Because when you minimize what you're eating and you're active, your brain can go to starvation mode. If your brain thinks you're starving, it's not getting enough of this energy. The little meals you'll eat, it will convert it into fat, so that it's able to reserve energy for your organs and muscles to keep functioning while you're fasted. And that's why probably you will keep working out, but you're not going to see any change because you are not working, you're not in sync with your subconscious mind. You want to burn fat, but the way you're eating, your brain is on the other path, protecting the body from breaking down. All right?
Yeah.
So you need to reorganize those meals. All right? So here cardio you need, and you still need weights, but train a bit differently. Because how much do you do, for instance, on the squats? You said 100.
Yeah.
And how much do you do on the bench?
Flat I'll do 100.
Deadlift?
Deadlift still 100. Yeah.
Okay. Rep range?
Mostly I try from 8 to 12.
8 to 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's a bit heavy, I'll go 8, but normal range 10. Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll do a demo so that you can be able to understand the importance of, form and how to activate the muscle. At least it's better for you so that when you go to work out, you're able to see if you create that aspect of brain to muscle coordination, engage the muscle, contract that muscle to the maximum so that you're able to see if you yield better results.
Okay.
All right? So basically, I'm hoping this has guided you in terms of now. So what I want you to do is that when you go home, take photos, front, side, back. That will help you now look at where is this fat. So that when you're going to draft a routine, it's focusing on where you stored the fat. If you've got fat around the arms, now try and Google that so that you create that program. If it's belly fat, if it's around the side, the obliques, or the lower or the upper or lower back, you're able now to Google and see the nature of exercises that you need to invest more time doing. Otherwise, you could be just doing weights, training that is just improving your strength and muscle mass, but your goal should be investing more on burning the fat. It makes sense?
Yeah.
So once you're able to identify those trouble spots, now you'll be able to align a good program. If it's workouts for the back, now you know how you need to be doing it. If it's workout for the chest, if it's the day you're working out on your abs, probably you can have like 3 days in a week to do your abs. You can decide to have them back to back, or you can have them maybe every other day. Maybe Monday you skip Tuesday, Wednesday you skip, Thursday, then Friday. All right?
Yeah.
And then invest more in stretches. Stretching helps the muscles to recover their full length, and if you're a sedentary person, the muscles usually shrink a lot. I usually tell people that on event, you don't engage muscle, the muscles shrink. The brain shuts down the muscles to conserve energy. So hata ukikaa watch movie for 2 hours, you'll notice muscles zitashikana and you'll wake up stretching. Ukilala usiku, what happens? Ukiamka, find yourself stretching. Ukitoka kwa bed unaenda wapi? First place. Ukitoka bed,
maybe to the sitting.
Ukitoka bed kuna mali unaenda.
Or to the radar.
Yes, usisikie shy.
No, the routine.
So you see, that is to show you one thing, that muscles zikishikana sana zinapoteza hizo fluids. Damu iko ndani inapotea. So what happens? Hiyo damu ndio unaenda kuitoa. So it's filtered out with that, and that's what you're going to pass out. And that's why people are told to drink a glass of water when they wake up in the morning. You're trying to replenish what your muscles lost. And that's ideally why you're not eating any food at night, because without you knowing, what usually happens is that if you eat heavy at night, when your muscles are going to shrink, you're not going to accommodate any nutrients. So you will easily stop. But you see, the thing is, you're not supposed to be fasting just because your body is big and you're active. You need these nutrients. So focus more on vegetables and lean protein, chicken, fish, so that you don't lose out on those critical nutrients. What you need to probably avoid is carbs, because when the muscles shrink, you're not able to load the carbs inside the muscle. You're relying on blood to transport and load carbs into the muscle. But you see, at night, the muscle is busy losing its contents, so you cannot carb load at night. And if it doesn't, remember, it goes to where the fat is, it's converted into fat. So most people who have this, it's because of eating heavy, or rather a lot of carbs at night. But instead of now avoiding food, because now if your brain is in starvation, then it's not working for you. So you need to eat at least something. You need even more meals if you're to ask me, because you're a big person. It's only that now the nature of the meals should be high protein, low carb. And at times also alternate. Just put in some carbs just to help your brain remember that this is what we usually use as fuel. Then the moment you cycle, you call it carb cycling. Then the moment you cut it, now the brain goes to the store to reduce some fat. But if you're back to back, you're not carb cycling, your brain will get to that point, you hit a plateau. Make sense?
Yeah.
So I want you to introduce that last meal.
Okay.
But chicken, fish, and vegetables. All right?
Yeah.
Because now looking at this, chances are you're not going to get enough protein. Any supplements you're using?
Currently I'm using whey. Yeah.
Okay.
Whey and amino acids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which brand?
Amino.
Whey?
Whey ni gani? Nick. Neso.
ISO.
Yeah.
ISO 100 ya Diamatize. Daima. The white one.
Yeah.
Okay, like in that bag, eh?
Okay, the cover is different. It came in this container.
Okay, I think when you get home, you'll send me a picture.
Sure.
And then the picture of the front and the back, you look at the nutritional information, so that I'm able to see how much protein you're getting. And the
But
amino?
actually, it's about to end. So I think by Thursday, Friday, Tokeshaisha.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the amino is which brand?
Flavored chocolate. But
Amino hardcore.
the same, the one that you have out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many tablets a day?
6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe the timings are different, because I usually take it after workout. Yeah.
So that's approximately 36 grams of protein. My eggs is 3 to 4.
But your weekends.
Or twice a week. So
Yeah.
we can't rely on that. So I want you not to I want you to look at food as nutrients. Don't look food as the way it is. Usione hii ni mayai unakula, wewe una ni protein.
Actually, I try and include protein in my meals. So every meal I take, I'm sure there's protein. Yeah.
So the fish balls, I can see your ndoma is fried. So now I also want to tell you something about eating for function versus eating for taste. Today I'm going to trying to make sure I give you as much information as I can.
Okay.
Because of your hosts. So eating for function is where now you focus on now the way I'm telling you. Look at food. You know, the brain, whenever you're hungry, does not matter whether you eat chips or whatever it is. It just wants nutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals and vitamins. All right?
Yeah.
So whatever you eat, it doesn't really matter as long as it gets those nutrients. But you see how you process the food. If you're focusing on taste, then chances are you overprocess food. You overcook, so you deplete nutrients. An egg can be eaten raw. Some people will boil. Some people will fry. Others will want to add more swag and make a Spanish omelette. So as you continue processing, the egg keeps losing nutrients. All right?
Yeah.
Some people will buy fish from Mama Samaki. It's already mesha chomwa. Then you bring it at home. Then you make stew with it and you put a gravy. That's a lot of heat. So most of the time you denature the nutrients. So what you're enjoying is taste. Your brain will use a lot of energy to digest that food but get nothing or negligible nutrients. So most of the time you're enjoying taste but your body doesn't get anything. And that's why you see athletes, bodybuilders or keen fitness enthusiasts, their food will look boring because it's not inclined towards taste. It's inclined towards function. Making sure whatever you put in your mouth is as nutritious as it can get. So you try and reduce fried foods. I can see your ndoma is fried. Your fish balls, is it fried also?
Deep fried.
So it means you could be eating a meal but your brain is not getting anything. And then you're relying on your lunch. I don't know whether you're eating from a hotel or you carry on meals.
No, I actually carry.
So you see, it means basically it's like your body is banking on this one meal. And you're ni mzito, my friend. Najua wewe na mimi hata tukifanya the same exercise, you're not going to use the same energy. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Who will use more?
I'll definitely use more.
If you were to walk on a treadmill, same treadmill, same speed, same distance, who will burn more calories?
That's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Nico, you will burn more. That's why on the treadmill you have to put in your weight so that it calibrates how much calories you're burning. So if you weigh more, you will burn more calories. For me to burn the same calories with you, I'll have to stay in the treadmill longer. And that's why even in sports, it's categorized by weight. Because people who've got less physique or lesser body, it means they use less energy doing the same thing. And that's why smaller people have got the advantage of endurance. Even with a little meal, they can last longer. But now the big people, because of that more muscle mass, the advantage is power. They're able to release a lot of energy at an instant, so it can allow them to lift heavy or move heavy objects. Diet being constant. If you're able to fuel more, then now you can get your power and endurance. All right?
Okay.
So it's important to eat, have more meals, but make sure the meals are for function. If they are not for function, easily you go to starvation mode and you don't lose anything. So you need to eat to first help reset your brain. Let the brain remember that this is what we need for fuel to get it out of starvation mode. If I put you in an estate, or rather if your home was to ration water, you're not getting water every day, you're getting it once a week, you will invest more in jerry cans and reserve tanks. When water comes, you store fast. You don't use the water. That's what your brain will do. When you eat, it prioritizes on storage. That's why you don't lose. All right?
Yeah.
So the moment rationing iishe ianze kukuja, you are still not sure, especially if the phase for rationing was too long. That's why I was shocked when you said you've been eating twice for a very long time. Then it means you will not be ready if you've been rationed for 2 years. The moment water starts coming, you will not be ready to release the jerry cans.
Yeah.
You want to be sure and be confident that this problem is long gone. So it will take you time to adjust. So that's why we need you first to reset the brain. Start eating, maintain the activity, introduce the steps to help the brain reset. We're trying to reset you back to factory settings. And then thereafter, maybe after 2 months, now we can now start doing the cut. It's made sense?
Yeah, it does.
So I think for the protein, you can see you're heavily dependent on these supplements because you're not getting anything from your food. 36 grams here for the food is negligible, maybe 20 grams or 30 if you are lucky, so 66. And weighing 106, you need, on the lower side, you need 100 grams of protein per day. But you see you're on the lower side. And because you're on the lower, because you're trying to reduce fat, it means carbs are the ones should be low, protein needs to be high. You need to target around 1.5. The weights you're lifting are also not very light. So your diet is what is a mess.
Okay.
You've used any fat burners before?
A while back, yeah, I have. Nitraflex.
In pre-workout.
Then C4 ni
pre-workout.
za kuwa na basi na fat burner. Yeah.
So I think I'm not going to recommend a fat burners at now. First we reset the brain, start eating well, eat for function. Because you're carrying your food, I'm proud of that, because most of the time when you eat out, you're not sure how the food was prepared. When it's on the buffet, there's a lot of heating, and if it's subjected to heat for a long time, you're now going to be eating for as a formality, but your body is not going to get anything. So you need to make sure your body is getting nutrients. Supplements are just insurance that on event you didn't get it from your food, at least you got it from this. All right?
Yeah.
So I would advise you to so right now let's say you just have amino acids only. So because of hydration, have you ever used Extend BCA? I'd recommend Extend BCA because of electrolytes.
And what's the best time maybe to use the supplements? Before workout, during workout, after workout?
I'm going to advise on that because it varies also on the supplements.
Yes.
Because some supplements are pre, others are post, others are intra, others are between meals or bedtime, or others should be taken with meals. So it depends. So this one, you can use it as an intra workout. I want to make sure your body is going to hydrate as much as possible because of your habits of water. So this one, you take a scoop, you mix it in like 500 ml of water, and then you mix it, then you take it just like juice. So
as you work out, you just take it.
Yes, in between sets. Don't take big sips, just keep sipping. And I want you to make sure by the time you're halfway in your training, you've consumed all the BCA, and then you continue with plain water. So that by the time you're almost 3/4, you're now experiencing the full benefits of the ingredients that it's in this supplement. It's got electrolytes, which will help your body hold on to the water better. You can see the electrolyte blend: sodium citrate, potassium chloride, sodium chloride. This is a salt, of course, which you're not going to get enough from the vegetables. So you're going to get a boost from this. So when your body is hydrating better, it also has something called citrulline, which you get from watermelon and beetroot. It helps your muscles to open up. So citrulline is also in most of these pre-workouts. When your muscles open up, it means the water that is being held by the electrolytes will flow into your muscles. And that's how you start getting the performance. You're training, you're feeling like you're not getting tired. So that you can be able to push all these reps, all those sets. And when you're able to train longer, we want you to get that fat burning zone. All right? And the good thing with this one, you can see 0 calories, 0 carbohydrates, 0 sugar. So it doesn't have any impact on your weight. It's just helping you hydrate. And then most importantly, give you muscle recovery, because the nature of training for you to reap needs to be intense. You're focusing more on the burn than the pump. So muscle recovery here will be very important. And you get that from this ingredient that you call glutamine. As much as here it's half of a serving, which is 2500 mg, at least it's a plus. And maybe if you get it from your aminos or the protein shake, at least it will add up. It will add more value. But you see in this one, it's helping you, have better strength and then recovery as you're working out. So this is a good one to have. I'm trying to think for the protein shake. You said yours is about to finish.
Okay, I'll say it's almost just like finished, because maybe 2 scoops, 3 scoops at most.
So for the protein shake, you can choose one between Roll-1, the isolate, which is hydrolyzed, or Nitrotech Ripped. Of course, I'm not selling these things to you, but I want you also to go research so that you can understand why I'm telling you to take them. But of course, this is to give you protein. The only unique thing with the Nitrotech Ripped, it also has some aminos that help you break down fat so that you can use it as energy. This other one, it's the quality that is good. It's light, your body absorbs faster, and at least it's a good quality and you get value for money in this one. And then now the other one, the one that I'm thinking about is a multivitamin. But I'm thinking this one we can put it on hold until you're able to fast, because you're having 2 meals. So from the 2 meals, I want you to go to 3 meals.
Okay, changing the meals, that's something I can just change immediately.
I want you to go to the 3 meals, and then later on, when you can, add another one. I know you'll be scared.
No, okay.
Because you're wondering if I'm not losing with 2 meals, if I add some extra meals.
So maybe if I have the timings correct, maybe eat your first meal 10:30, second, maybe 2, your dad, and then before you leave your fourth meal, the meals maybe they should just be enough, not too heavy here. That's enough for the body to take the nutrients. If you have that breakdown, maybe something can adjust, because in the normal way, or now we think, if you say introduce a meal, my mind will go introduce dinner. But now,
of course, dinner needs to be there.
Yeah, but now the dinner now should be greens,
What time?
more greens and proteins. But
Yes.
no.
What time do you sleep?
Roughly maybe 10. I'll say 10. Yeah.
What time do you get home?
6:30. 6:30.
okay.
This is 6:30 there. Yeah.
So you can plan to have your dinner by that 6:30 or 7.
And then you go to
set
the gym.
it. Oh, you train in the evening?
Yeah.
Oh. So
I can have my last meal at 5, maybe at 4:30 before I leave the office. Yeah.
okay. So at least by 4, because you had your lunch, it will still be okay.
Yeah, because I think what matters is just the timings. If I can.
So meaning, if you're going to be training, if you're training late, I'm thinking you can either do whey or casein. Casein is slow digesting protein, which you take before bed. It's a bit thicker, so you'll not be feeling so hungry. So it helps control the craving. The other advantage is that you burn more calories digesting it. And then the other advantage is that it gets into your body slowly in traces. So throughout the night, your body is still going to be receiving protein. As compared to whey, which breaks down very fast, gets into your body faster, and then within a short time, 2 hours, you don't have any new incoming nutrients. It's utilized. Casein gives you it's similar amount of protein, but slow release. It's usually good with people even who are fasting, to prevent the muscles from being in that catabolic state. So you'll have those 2 options. Either you can go for the whey or casein, because you're training late and you don't want you to feel hungry thereafter. But you don't struggle with appetite at night.
No, okay, it's something by now I'm already used. So for me, you see, my goal was to burn fast and reduce my body weight. So automatically in my mind, sap is it's a no. Unless it's just chicken maybe, but I don't take supper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So chicken, greens, and we can choose one of these and the BCA. So the vitamins, I'm thinking maybe after a month. Monitoring now what is happening after a month. Now we can put a multivitamin and a fat burner. Now to make sure now we are a bit aggressive on breaking down the stored fat. Alright?
Okay.
So multivitamin, I don't know whether you've heard of multivitamins.
Maybe in the nutshell, but not into details.
So multivitamins, we say they are underrated supplements. People don't value multivitamins because they don't stand out when it comes to the description. People focus on pre-workouts, they give you energy, pump. People focus on mass gainers, muscle builders, the whey proteins, which is now popular like you said, and fat burners because it has those catchy words. But multivitamins help you restore function. Building muscle is a function. Burning fat is a function. Alright? Your body thrives in a healthy environment for it to maintain function. Alright?
Yeah.
So you need to know when you eat food, at times your body could break down or digest 60% of that food you're eating. So you could be lacking nutrients not because you're not eating, but your body is getting less because of the problem of producing digestive enzymes to help you break down the food. Then the next challenge is absorption. So multivitamins help you produce sufficient digestive enzymes to break down the food and also absorb. Then the other challenge is transportation. That's the work of multivitamins and minerals. Alright?
Yeah.
Then the other thing, you need to know you're an active person. When you're active, it means your body is also building up on toxins. Just like a car which is, on the road frequently, like PSVs, it means the service interval is more frequent. So what happens after service? They remove oil, the dirty one, they put clean, dirty air filter, they put a clean one. The engine is still the same, but the performance goes up. So it means also in your body, if you're able to cleanse, if you're able to remove the toxins at a good rate, then you're able to improve efficiency within your system. Alright?
Yeah.
And that's why when people take multivitamins, even the urine looks a bit darker. It means now you're getting rid of dirt much better. And if your body is in that state, cleansed state, it means it responds better to the food you're eating, responds better to the supplements you're taking. And holistically, because nutrition is 80% of this process, then it's able to complement your training. It makes sense?
Yeah,
And
it
then
does.
last but not least, as much as your cellular health was good, do you fall sick often?
I'll say not really. But whenever there's an outbreak, maybe homa nini, ndashikwa nayo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what multivitamins do, they also boost your immunity. Because we tell people, you see, the process is health and fitness. The word health comes before fitness. So it means if you're not healthy, then it compromises the fitness. So if your body is experiencing any virus or bacteria, the brain's mission is now to fight. So you could be in the gym because you're not manifesting any symptoms, but you see your brain is not with you now anymore. It's at war. So your brain is busy sending signals. Build, generate more white blood cells. Let's defend the body, let's fight. But local gym. So to make sure your body is not in that lapse, inaenda vita na wewe unang'ang'ana na gym, you need to boost your immunity. So that you make sure at all times you're always in sync with your subconscious mind. Health and fitness. So if your health is buffered, it complements the fitness. That's why even you see when you're eating complex foods, the ndomas, guaches, they're not overmade. They're made, boiled, steamed, to make sure you're able to preserve these nutrients. What you're working on is boosting your health, because the brain thrives in that healthy environment, and that's how you restore function. Because you see, your brain right now is malfunctioning. Instead of burning the fat, it's holding on to it. So you need to restore function. So those are one of the ways. All right. So I think multivitamin, because I don't want to put a lot of supplements on your plate as at the moment, you can just start off with a BCA and a protein shake. Then thereafter, you can add a multivitamin and a fat burn after 1 month. Now we see that weight will go down. So I promise to do a demo, then we wrap this up, all right?
Okay.
Okay.